Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, thanks for stopping by. So today I am going to do a little Valentine's Day tutorial for you guys. I did a set of birthday nails. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing about these nails, but I had a ton of DMs asking me for a tutorial on those. So I decided I would kind of do a little twist and just do a little Valentine's Day design with some leopard print. So if you guys are interested in this, please stick around. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. Let's get started. To start off, you are going to want to build your nail in some type of a cover or semi-transparent blush tone. So I have this one here that I custom mix. I'm sorry, I don't have the measurements for you guys. I have just custom mixed this one so many times, but I'll try to remember to write it down next time. So basically, the colors that I put in here are a white acrylic, just a little bit of a white. I put a blush pink or a blush peach color in here. I also put a little bit of crystal pink, or you could just add clear. And then I use the addition of a neon pink pigment. I have one from Crystal Nails that I use, and a neon purple pigment as well. And I just add a very tiny amount. I am talking the smallest little, not even a, I'll show you. So when I say tiny, I mean I will scoop like the tiniest amount on the tip of this little cuticle pusher, and that's what I will drop in there. The pigments are so pigmented that you really don't want to add too much because it'll just be crazy bright. So I just add a little bit of that pink pigment and a little bit of that purple, and I use my mortar and pestle, and I really grind it up. Now, a trick when you're using your mortar and pestle, when you're trying to grind up pigments, is to just add a very tiny amount of the acrylic. So take a little bit out of this jar. If you're making a new batch and you have a little bit left in here, take a very tiny little scoop. I'm talking you could just use one scoop from here and apply that into your mortar, and then add your pigments, and then use your mortar and your pestle, or your pestle I should say, to really grind that pigment up. And once it's really ground up, then add the rest of your acrylic. I find if you add all your acrylic at first and then your pigment, the pigment doesn't have enough surface of the mortar to grab onto to really get kind of ground up in there. It's not touching enough surface. The whole point of the mortar is to be able to grind things into that surface of that mortar with the pestle, and it'll kind of grind it up better. So just make sure that you don't apply too much acrylic when you are first mixing the color, and then once you have your pigment mixed in, then go ahead and add the rest of your acrylic and kind of blend it all together. Little tip for you guys. So I will show you the difference in color between my one that I use for all of my baby boomer or faded French nails. So you guys have seen me talk about this in the past. I mix this one myself as well. So I add two parts cover pink to 1 part crystal pink, and I will show you the difference in pinkness. So that one here on the left, which is the one that I use for my baby boomer or faded French, it's way more of a natural peach tone. This one here that I'm using today is definitely way more on the pink side. It's got that little bit of a hue of purple, but they are both equally semi sort of transparent. They're very nice. If you only have something like this, you could absolutely use that for today's design, but I wanted a little bit more of a pink, and I also wanted to emulate that photo that I did because that's the one that you guys were really DMing me. Like, I got so many DMs that day asking me if I had done a tutorial, and I was so bummed because that's actually my client that I generally film on, but I just didn't think that anyone would really care to see that as a watch me work, so I didn't film it. Big mistake that was. I feel like I should just from now on film every set that I do on her. So what I've done for the purpose of this video is I have just actually taken my tips and I have put the color underneath just so that I don't have to do any filing or shaping. But if you are working on a client, obviously you would just build and sculpt your nails in that pink color, and then you would file, you would shape and buff them and get them ready for our art. So that's at the step that I'm at right now. So for this design, I am going to do 2 bling nails. So I'm going to do these 2 with bling, and then I'm going to do a leopard pattern on these 3. So these 2 will actually be exactly the same. And likely these two will be very much the same as well. And then the middle one will be just a little bit different. So I'm going to work on the leopard ones probably first. So let me get out what I need for the leopard print. So I'm going to be using my little palette that I got from Glitter Mix Canada. Love, love, love this. I'm going to be using this color here from Madame Glam. It is a gold glitter gel polish. It's called It's Not You, It's Me. I love that. And I'm also going to be needing some black acrylic paint. Now you could use a gel polish or a gel paint. I still love using my acrylic paint for my leopard print. I am just an old school girl when it comes to my leopard print. And then I've got this nail art brush here. Now this is a nail art brush that I have kind of ruined, but it works perfectly for leopard. So as you can see, the bristles are all kind of wonky and they're sort of bent, and right now they're really spread apart because it's clean and has nothing in it. But once I put the paint on it, they'll kind of stick together. But I only use this brush for leopard print because it's kind of bent at the end. I'll show you how I do my leopard print and why this brush works. But if you have a little brush that you've kind of ruined on accident, use it for your leopard print, and that way you're not wasting it or throwing it out. It'll work great for your leopard. And then also I'm going to need some matte top coat. Now I'm going to be using the matte on all of the nails in the end, but I've got this one here from 2M Beauty. I get this at the Pink Chair. Again, I have a coupon code for the Pink Chair, so I will link that below. I also have a Madame Glam coupon. I will link everything for you guys below. And then I'm also going to be using the Madame Glam No Wipe top coat for the leopard print, and that should be it for the leopard designs. Okay, so let's get into the design. So first of all, what you're going to want to do, now you could use a nail art brush if you wanted to. I will grab one of mine just to show you guys, but I actually just did it with the brush that comes in the bottle because I just didn't want to dirty another brush when I was doing the design. Now you could essentially plop out some of this gel polish onto your palette, and I've got a different brush that I specifically use for gels just so that it doesn't get wrecked. I don't like to mix my gel brushes with my acrylic paint brushes. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of that, and basically you just want to create sort of like heart shapes, you know, kind of, but they don't have to be super perfect. So we're just going to kind of create little heart shapes, and don't do them all in the same direction either, or all the same size. You want to kind of have them in different sizes. Now if you're really good with the brush in the bottle, you could do this with the brush in the bottle. I'm just going to actually take this right off of here, and I'm going to plop it on my little pumpkin guy there. Now, I was saying, if you're really, really talented, you could do this with the brush that's in the bottle of the gel polish. But if you don't feel like that confident, then just use a little nail art brush like this. Like I said, these little hearts do not have to be absolutely perfect. And just continue on creating little hearts everywhere, and maybe make a bigger one here, sort of coming off the side. You can do sort of like a half one over here, coming off of the side, and over here maybe, same thing, a little larger. And I think that's probably good for that one. So I'm going to get this into the light, and then I'm going to repeat it on the last finger as well. All right, so that is what we have so far. So now I'm also going to need a little bowl of water for my acrylic paint. So I've just got this one here that I always use. No, that is not mold in there. That is just old paint. I really don't clean this out. I just dump out the water and let it dry. It's just acrylic paint, not a big deal. So I have that, and then I will now plop out some of my black acrylic paint. And this is where we will use our little bent up kind of wonky brush. So sometimes your acrylic paint needs to be thinned out. I know in fact that this black one isn't, I don't need to thin it out, it's a good consistency, but if your acrylic paint is a little thick, I just take the end of my brush and dip it into the water, and it'll grab like the perfect little drop of water, and I feel like that's usually all you need, is just a little drop, and that's why the ends of my brushes always have acrylic paint on them, because then that's what I use to mix them. But I don't have to do that with this one, so I'm just going to go in and grab some of my acrylic paint here. Now there's a few different methods of doing leopard print. I've seen some where they kind of go up and down if they've got like a circle, but for this design I don't want to do that. I'm going to use my traditional method of sort of tapping up and down, and that's why you'll see my brush has a bend in it, because I use the tip of my brush and I kind of tap. So basically what we want to do is create little heart-shaped leopard print designs. So I'm going to kind of go follow that heart, but I'm going to very much irregularly tap up and down, and you're wanting to kind of leave some open spaces as well. So you don't want them to be like perfect, but just like that. So you kind of get the idea that it's a shape of a heart, but it's not going to be a perfect little heart by any means. Just like that. And then just do that with all of these little hearts. Just kind of go around them and create little heart-shaped leopard prints. And as you can see, some of them, you know, are smaller. We did that on purpose, where we created some smaller ones and some larger ones. So just kind of continue to go around and create those little heart shapes. Then you want to go in and fill in around. So now you could just do regular blotches, but because we're doing hearts, I kind of want to make them look like hearts as well. So I'm just kind of going to go in and do like something kind of like that, like little irregular heart patterns that are sort of blotchy, if that makes sense. And you want to kind of change the angle of them. Don't do them all going the exact same way, you know, just kind of change the angle. This one I'll do this way, sort of off the nail, and I'll put a little one here, and maybe one up here. And then once you have, you know, enough of those ones as well, then you can go in and just kind of do more like irregular little spots, if that makes sense. Again, just like tapping and kind of making irregular little blotches. That's all we're doing, is creating kind of little blotches everywhere. And that's how we just create a very simple leopard print design. So I'm going to, again, I'm just going to repeat that design on the other nail. Alright, so I've got those two done. Very, very cute. So we're just going to let that acrylic paint dry, because as you know, it does not cure in the light. We just got to give it some time to dry. So a good way to test if your acrylic paint is dry, I actually will just take my finger and just kind of lightly tap over an area, and if there's any little bit of transfer, that just means that it's not dry yet and I have to let it sit a little bit longer. But generally by the time you're done your 10th nail or your 5th nail, it's pretty dry and you could go ahead and apply top coat. So now I'm going to work on the middle one. So the middle one, we are going to do a leopard design as well, but it's just going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to paint a heart on, and then I'm going to do a regular leopard print design inside the heart. So now you could generally get a pencil if you wanted to and just kind of sketch out the heart. Now I do want the heart to start, you know, be in the middle of the nail, which makes it a little more difficult, obviously, but if you're going to do it, just maybe give yourself 2 little starting points and then sketch, you know, your heart however you want it to be. I do want mine to be quite large, so I'm just going to try to get it as even as possible. And just sort of draw a little heart like that. And then I'm going to go in with my acrylic paint. Now it is going to be a little bit harder with this brush because this brush is so bent and wonky. So I'll go in with one of my other ones. Again, these are the ones that I do designate for doing acrylic paint. So I've just got this one here, which is a little longer. It's the same handle, and I'm going to go in. And the thing about acrylic paint is it does start to develop a little bit of a skin on top because it'll start to dry. So you just need to break that skin off, get it out of there, and then you can grab your paint. Now I'm just going to outline this heart very simply, nothing fancy. Again, if you wanted to, you could use a gel paint for this. It would probably be easier because gel paint has a little bit of stickiness. So I find it a lot easier to draw lines with your gel paint or gel polish than acrylic paints. But because I have my acrylic paint out, that is just I've got a nice big old heart there right in the center of the nail. And again, I'm going to go in and grab my gold. Now this is where I was saying you could just use the brush because we don't care how the shape of these. You could just use the brush that's in the bottle, but because I have some gel polish already out here on my tile and I don't want to waste it, I am just going to go ahead. And again, we're just going to draw some little splotches, nothing too crazy at all. You want to do some sort of off of the side of the heart as well, and do them different sizes. Littler ones, bigger ones, just like that. And we're going to get that into the light to cure. Alright you guys, so unfortunately I forgot to hit record. I don't know what happened, but I thought I hit it. I must not have hit it hard enough. So basically what I did after it came out of the light and that gold gel polish was cured, I went in with my little bendy brush, same way that I did with my first 2 nails, went into my acrylic paint. But this time I did not create heart shapes. I just did the traditional round-ish kind of method. Again, I just tapped up and down and created little semicolons, or colons I should say, semicolons, kind of like C shapes, but using that dotting method. And again, you want to leave some gaps. You can see there's a little gap there, there's a little gap there, there's a little gap there. You don't want to completely cover the entire going in a circle around that gold. You just want to leave some areas. And then I went back in and around all the little areas that are kind of open and just sort of filled in with little irregular dots, little shapes like that one, that one, that one there. I apologize that I did not record that, but hopefully I just explained it well enough. If you have any questions, leave them below for me and I will do my best to try to help you figure it out. But basically it's the exact same method that I did on the first 2 nails. I just did not create any type of shape. I just went in sort of a round sort of, I guess I did create a shape, more of a round shape, but not a heart or a square or anything like that. So far, this is what we've got. Very, very cute. So I'm going to move all of this stuff out of the way because I'm done with it now. And I am going to get ready to add some bling for you guys. Right, so for the bling, I'm going to be using Glitter Mix Canada's Bling It Gel. It is a very, very sticky or sorry, a very, very thick gel, super thick. It does not even really move in the jar. It takes a while for it to move. It is good stuff. It is really, really good stuff. I've used this. This is actually what I used on my client for her birthday nails. And then you're going to need some type of a rhinestone tool. Glitter Mix Canada just sent me this double-ended tool. It's got a really nice fine pointed end on that end, and then it's got a sticky wax end on this end. It's super bright pink. I love it, so I'm excited to use that. This will be my first time using that one. And then you may want to have a couple of trays or something to dump your rhinestones out, just so you can see them better. These ones are, again, the pink one is from Glitter Mix Canada. This one, I can't even remember. I've had it for years, but I think they carry both the pink and the white ones at Glitter Mix Canada. And then I just have various rhinestones, so I'm not using any, am I using some Swarovski? Yes, I am. So I do have a bunch of Swarovski shapes here. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use yet, but these ones are Swarovski. I've got many different shapes in here. These are like the larger ones. There's some tinier ones too. I'm not sure exactly which ones I'm going to use. We'll see once I get started. And then I've got these 3 little packs here. I have got these from eBay, I'm sure forever and ever ago. And they are sort of like an opal pink, an opal green, and an opal white. And they have all different things in there. They also have some little metal gold shapes as well. Little leaves and stars and squares. Very, very cool little kits. I will probably buy these again, to be honest. I really enjoyed them. And then I have some Aurora Borealis. These would be size 3SS. These are not Swarovski. These are just ones that I purchased so that I could do videos and stuff and not waste my Swarovski crystals. And I've also got some clear ones. Again, they are not Swarovski, but they are just crystal clear. And these would probably be size, I'm going to guess these are 5SS. 5 or 6, maybe. Yeah, I would say 5 or 6. So I've got those. Again, I'm not 100% sure exactly what I'm going to do, but I'm just gonna wing it. You guys know I like to wingity wing it. So I'm going to see which one out of here do I want. I'm not sure. I do kind of like, let's see here. I don't have a massive, massive nail, so I wonder if, maybe I'll use one of those. Let's see if I find another one here. Okay, so I've got those 2. And sometimes I'll actually just use the lid of these containers as well. So I'll just dump them out like that. And if I needed to do that here too. I don't generally need to really dump these ones out because they're all one size. So I don't need to be picking and choosing. But I have other Swarovski jars that I actually have multiple sizes in. So I need to dump them out. And this one, it's almost to the point where I can see what's in there, so I probably don't need to dump that one out either. This one I may need to dump out a little bit more because it is quite full. Let's see, just so that I can kind of get to the bottom and see what's all in there and what I want to use. And maybe I'll just leave this one as is. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use this one, but I kind of like all 3 of those colors. In the design that I used, in the design that I did on Instagram, I didn't use the green or anything, but these look like they might be different actually. They are different. They are different. Let me see if I can find matching ones. Okay, so let's see here. I'm gonna just grab my little pumpkin. Again, I've got a little rhinestone there. So we're gonna grab the Bling It gel. So one thing that they told me Glitter Mix Canada had mentioned is you can actually just take the Bling It gel and a brush and cover the entire nail with the Bling It gel. Do not cure. Then you can go over top of it with a tack-free top coat, and then you can insert your rhinestones into the wet top coats. They'll both be wet, so you haven't cured anything yet, and then get them in the light. So I'm going to actually give that a try with my matte top coat from 2M Beauty because it it's a tack-free top coat. I have not tried this method. When I did my client's nails for her birthday, I actually just used my dotting tool, something like this, and I scooped out the gel and put it where I wanted it, and then I went in and around after and painted on my top coat. But I do want to try this method, so I'm going to get a gel brush and I'm going to apply this directly to the entire nail. I'll do both methods, like I'll try this way on this nail and then I'll do it the way that I did the client's nail on the other one. So I'm going to apply this. Now it is very thick and very sticky, and that was why I was wondering how easy it would be to apply it and get it nice and smooth, and I'm just not certain that I'm doing it right. Maybe I'm not supposed to apply it to the whole nail. Maybe you are just essentially supposed to apply it to the area you want the rhinestones. I mean, that would make sense to me, but I'm just winging it here. You guys know I always wing it. And I like to try things for you guys because it's better to watch somebody else make a mistake than for you to make the mistake. So I'm just going to leave that and see if it self-levels like at all. It's still kind of like bumpy-ish. So I don't know if I would want to do that, to be honest. I would probably just prefer to apply it into the little area that you want the gel, because it is very, yeah, I don't know that this is how we're supposed to do it. I'm gonna actually, well, it is sort of self-leveling. I mean, it is. You just gotta let it sit for a minute. So we'll give it a whirl. So I'm going to grab my matte top coat now. Now I'm assuming you have to be very careful and very much float this over top of the top coat, because if you push too hard, you're gonna push into this wet top coat. We don't want that. So let's see. I'll grab a good blob of my matte and just kind of float it over top lightly. Very lightly brush it on. Try not to wrinkle anything up or put any indents or anything. And then we're going to get our rhinestones. So I'm going to take a large opal one right in the middle there. Then I'm going to take this big doohickey right there. And you know what? I'm going to grab a green one and a smaller pink one, like so. And then I'm just going to start applying some rhinestones in and around. So I'm going to take this one here. You guys, I absolutely love this wax. I love how skinny it is. All of that. Let me grab a couple of little green ones here. So what you will notice as I'm pushing them in, because that top coat is quite thick on there, I'm just worried that it's going to start sliding onto the edge, so I'm just kind of tipping it upside down to prevent that. I don't know that I really like this method of applying it to the whole nail, but again, I may have done that incorrectly. But what is happening as you push these rhinestones in, because the gel is really thick, it almost kind of cups around the rhinestone, and I think that's honestly why they stay in so well. But there is a little bit of mobility happening. They are kind of, you know, sliding slightly. And for me, it's important that you don't have a big bulbous side, right? So again, I'm just gonna hold that upside down for a second. And I'm going to look for some more rhinestones. Maybe I'll do a couple of pink ones here, right here, and right here. Yeah, they are moving, so you do still have to like play with them. And that was the thing that I liked about the resin, was once you put it down, it don't move. You can just, yeah, it just stays. Now I'm gonna grab some of these little guys and put a couple on the end down here. Now these ones are almost sinking right in a little bit. Yeah, so see, to me, there's like a blob. So I would actually put on a glove and just kind of wipe the side, because look at all that came off, that has been seeping down there and sort of falling to the side. So again, make sure you put on a glove. Do not do this without a glove. So I'm going to just get that into the light. I am going to move this one a little bit more. I'm going to get that one into the light, and then I'm going to do the other method with the other nail just to show you guys how I did it on my client. So basically how I did hers was I just grabbed some of this gel and I put it where I wanted it. So we're going to do a good little line all the way down, because I'm going to basically do pretty much the same design. So I did like that. Now again, I'll grab a big, and I just kind of pushed it into that gel, and you can see it kind of seeps out around it. Oh, I thought I dropped it into that. I thought I dropped it into the gel. Ooh, this one does not want to stick very good. Why? There we go. Got that one on. And let's grab a green one here. And a little bit of a pink one. I'm gonna grab some more gel. So I would definitely say, you know, it's more time consuming using a bling gel than it is using a resin. That's for sure, because, you know, right there I've got like sort of a blob of gel that I don't really want on there. And so, you know, I want to kind of remove that. So it is a little more time consuming, but this gel does work very, very well. Nobody so far has lost any rhinestones when I use this Bling It gel. So I feel like that is a bonus. Let me get a couple of these white ones. That one's a bit big. Stick those on there. These little teensy ones. I can't remember exactly how that other one looked, but they're somewhere around the same, similar anyways. Changing it up just a little bit, I guess. So I find that I'm not worried about them moving around quite as much with this method, because there's just not as much gel. Which I prefer. I did not like that they were moving around so much on the other one. But we could do something like that. They did move a little bit, but not quite as much. So I'm going to get that into the light as well. Just push those up a little bit. So I'm going to get that in the light. So basically the whole reason that they say to put on that tack-free top coat on top of the Bling It gel is because basically now that nail is done. I don't have to do anything else. The problem is that I do find that some of that matte, now maybe it wouldn't look the same obviously if you did a shiny top coat, but some of that matte has gone kind of over the rhinestones a little bit, and like I said, it was kind of dripping on the side. So with this other one, I still have to add my matte top coat in and kind of around. And I have to do these ones as well with matte. So I'm going to apply my matte top coat on all of my nails that need the matte top coat. And I always recommend, if you do acrylic paint, that you do 2 coats of top coat. I'm not going to apply 2 simply because I'm not needing to make sure that there's, you know, longevity for wear or anything like that. They're not going to be on anybody. They're just going to be on my display rack. But I'm going to go ahead and apply my matte top coat to all of the leopard nails, and then I'm also going to apply it onto this nail here in and kind of around those rhinestones. Alright guys, so this is what it looks like so far. So the last little step is to go in with some tack-free top coat. I've got this one here from Madame Glam, and just get a little bit out onto your tile and grab some type of a gel brush, like a detail or nail art brush, and this is where we're going to go over the gold inside all of the leopard print and make that gold shine again, because we put on that really nice gold glitter and now it's all matte. Now it looks cool matte too, but I do like the effect better of just adding that shiny top coat and re-sparkling up that gold. And we're going to do that on all 3 of these nails. And you really don't need much at all, just a little bit, just to go over and shine them up. It will add a little bit of a texture. You know, there will be a little bit of a raised bump sort of where you put this, but it's not anything serious. But if you have clients, you know, I have certain clients who absolutely hate having any type of anything raised or any texture. They'll pick at it or whatever. If you have clients like that, just make sure to, you know, maybe don't do this on them, or mention to them that they will be just slightly like raised. They'll feel slightly bumpy. And then we're gonna get that back into the light to cure.
Alright guys, so there you have it, a little Valentine's Day design for you with a little bit of added diva-ness to it with the bling and the leopard print. Who doesn't love leopard print and bling? Come on guys. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please share it with someone else. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And as always guys, have an amazing day.